Well, it's basically my journey through from the beginning when I was a kid, figuring out that there was a reason for me to be in the woods, a need for me to be in the woods, and first discovering that the Sasquatch are something that is out there. Something, I was at Mount St. Helens around a campfire as a little kid when the park rangers from the Forest Service started telling stories, and I was fascinated. And
Yeah,
then,
I would be
from
too.
there, yeah, well, it became kind of a lifelong thing. Back then, there wasn't a lot of information. Every now and then a TV show would come out, or you might find a few pages in a book dedicated to Sasquatch. And, I ate all that up. And
Mm.
then, I was drawn to the mountains as a young adult. And my first experiences that I didn't realize what was happening at the time. I found a perfect footprint and some broken trees. And, a few more years go by. And then I got a little Sasquatch that's jumping through the trees over my cabin. And then, that few more years go by. And I've got the vocalizations that I heard outside here. And I started talking to my neighbors and other people in the community. And then I went up on the mountain behind the cabin and got to hear talking and saw one follow the elk. And back then I was still kind of thinking they were pretty, rare, that these experiences were just with individuals who are on their way to more remote places.
Mm.
So it's not just the story of my experiences, which there are a lot. The book kind of just lists from one to another to another to another, but it's the journey of understanding, going from being somebody who believed they were another form of wildlife to understanding that they're really a different kind of people, and they're more advanced than we are in so many ways. They have abilities that I think we lost when we left the forest and started living inside and building fires. And but they kept the natural things that they were given, the gifts, and they've developed them to a beyond anything that we can really understand right now. And so that's kind of where the book leads to, is my journey from beginning to where I am now. And then when I start working on the sequel, I'm gonna pick up kind of where I left off there and start talking about what happens when I get away from the cabin and when I go out in the woods and go camping. So it'll just be a continuation, pretty much, in the sequel.